Once adored by millions, they ruled Hollywood with golden trophies, blockbuster fame, and faces everyone recognized. But behind the red carpets, something went wrong. Scandals exploded, egos clashed, careers collapsed, and the same studios that once begged for them suddenly stopped calling. Tonight, we uncover the shocking stories of stars who went from untouchable icons to names Hollywood would rather forget. Number 1. Kevin Spacey. For years, Kevin Spacey looked untouchable. He wasn't just another Hollywood star, he was the kind of actor directors dreamed of casting. 2 Academy Awards, unforgettable performances, and a career that seemed destined to grow even bigger after his chilling role as Frank Underwood in House of Cards. Then, almost overnight, the applause stopped. The man who once dominated red carpets suddenly found himself watching Hollywood close every door in front of him. It was a collapse so dramatic that many fans struggled to believe it was real. Everything changed in 2017 when actor Anthony Rapp publicly accused Spacey of sexual misconduct, triggering a wave of similar allegations from other men. The fallout was immediate and devastating. Netflix suspended production of House of Cards, removed him from the final season, and cut all professional ties. His completed scenes in All the Money in the World were erased and entirely reshot, with Christopher Plummer, an extraordinary move that sent a chilling message to the industry. Talent agencies distanced themselves, major studios disappeared, and Spacey was ordered to pay millions of dollars in damages related to his contract with House of Cards. Years of courtroom battles followed, with some cases ending in acquittal or dismissal, while others continued to cast a long shadow over his public image. Today, Kevin Spacey remains one of Hollywood's most controversial figures. Although he has occasionally appeared in smaller international productions and publicly insisted on rebuilding his career, the blockbuster offers that once defined his life have largely vanished. His story serves as one of the entertainment industry's most dramatic falls from grace, proving that a career built over decades can unravel with astonishing speed. In Hollywood, fame may feel permanent, but sometimes it takes only a single storm for an empire to disappear. Number 2. Charlie Sheen. At one point, Charlie Sheen wasn't just a Hollywood star, he was practically unstoppable. As the highest-paid actor on television, he earned nearly $2 million per episode for 2.5 Men, living the kind of life most actors could only dream about. But behind the laughter and record-breaking paychecks, a storm was already brewing. Few imagined that one of television's biggest names would soon become one of Hollywood's most unwanted actors. His downfall came fast. Years of substance abuse, public meltdowns, and increasingly erratic behavior pushed studios to their limit. In 2011, production on 2.5 Men was halted, while Sheen entered rehab, but instead of repairing relationships, he publicly attacked the show's creator, Chuck Lorre, leading to his shocking dismissal from the series. Later, Charlie revealed he was HIV positive, explaining that he had spent millions trying to keep the diagnosis private. Combined with years of controversy, the revelation marked another turning point in his already troubled career. Although Sheen later starred in Anger Management, the series never matched his previous success, and major Hollywood offers all but disappeared. Once one of the industry's brightest stars, Charlie Sheen became a reminder that fame, fortune, and even extraordinary talent can vanish far more quickly than anyone expects. Number 3. Cameron Diaz. For years, Cameron Diaz was everywhere. She dominated the box office, became one of Hollywood's highest-paid actresses, and seemed incapable of making a flop. Whether it was comedy, romance, or action, audiences couldn't get enough of her infectious smile and effortless charm. Then, without warning, one of Hollywood's brightest stars quietly disappeared, leaving fans wondering how someone so successful could simply walk away. The answer wasn't as simple as one bad decision. Several of her later films, including The Counselor sex tape and Annie, failed to impress critics or audiences, earning disappointing reviews and weakening her once unstoppable momentum. As the offers became less exciting, Diaz chose something Hollywood rarely expects from its biggest stars. She stepped away on her own terms. Instead of chasing another blockbuster, she embraced married life and focused on her family, trading red carpets for a much quieter existence. While many believed Hollywood had completely forgotten Cameron Diaz, she never ruled out a return. Her comeback in recent years proved that sometimes disappearing isn't the end of the story. Still, her journey remains one of the most surprising examples of how even an actress at the very top can fade from the spotlight almost overnight, leaving behind a career that millions once thought would never slow down. Number 4. Katherine Heigl. Hollywood once saw Katherine Heigl as its next unstoppable leading lady. After becoming a household name through Grey's Anatomy and scoring hit after hit with romantic comedies like Knocked Up and 27 Dresses, she seemed destined for an even bigger career. But just as her star was shining the brightest, the industry began turning its back on her. It wasn't because audiences stopped watching. It was because Hollywood started whispering that Katherine Heigl was too difficult. The controversy began in 2008, when Heigl withdrew herself from Emmy consideration, publicly saying the material she had been given on Grey's Anatomy wasn't worthy of a nomination. Not long afterward, she criticized Knocked Up, calling parts of the film sexist. While she later apologized and admitted some of her comments were poorly handled, the damage had already been done. Producers and executives reportedly viewed her as ungrateful and challenging to work with a reputation that spread faster than any of her box office successes. As the years passed, the major movie offers slowed to a trickle. Heigl has since spoken openly about the anxiety and emotional toll those years took on her, revealing that the backlash affected both her career and her mental health. Although she has gradually returned to television and smaller projects, her story remains one of Hollywood's clearest examples of how a few controversial interviews can completely change the course of an actor's career. Number 5. Lindsay Lohan. There was a time when Hollywood believed Lindsay Lohan would become the next generation's biggest superstar. After stealing hearts in The Parent Trap, Freaky Friday, and the iconic Mean Girls, she seemed unstoppable. Every studio wanted her, every magazine put her on the cover, and every blockbuster seemed within reach. But behind the flashing cameras, a darker story was unfolding. The same actress who once had Hollywood at her feet was suddenly becoming the industry's biggest liability. As her fame exploded, so did the headlines. Endless nights of partying, drug use, arrests, rehab stays, and family turmoil quickly overshadowed her extraordinary talent. Reports of chronic lateness, missed filming schedules, and unpredictable behavior made producers lose confidence in hiring her. One disappointing project followed another, and before long, the offers that had once poured in simply vanished. It was a breathtaking fall that few people could have imagined during the height of her career. Although Lindsay has spent recent years rebuilding her life and gradually returning to acting, the road back has been far from easy. She has spoken about learning from her mistakes and trying to leave her troubled past behind, but Hollywood has never fully restored the trust it once placed in her. Even today, her journey remains one of the entertainment industry's most dramatic cautionary tales, proving that becoming a superstar may take years, but losing everything can happen in the blink of an eye. Do you think Lindsay Lohan deserves one more chance to reclaim her place in Hollywood? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Number 6. Tobey Maguire. For millions of fans, Tobey Maguire wasn't just Spider-Man, he was Spider-Man. His performances in the first 2 films turned him into one of the biggest stars on the planet, and it looked like Hollywood had found its next long-term leading man. But after reaching the top, his career took an unexpected turn. The actor who once dominated the global box office slowly disappearing from major productions, leaving fans wondering what had gone so wrong. Many point to the mixed reception of Spider-Man 3 as the moment everything changed. Although the film earned enormous box office numbers, critics were far less impressed, and plans for another sequel with Maguire never materialized. Away from the cameras, his name also surfaced in a high-stakes underground poker scandal involving several celebrities. While Tobey ultimately settled a related civil lawsuit without admitting wrongdoing, the controversy added unwanted attention to a career that was already losing momentum. As the years passed, he appeared in fewer leading roles and focused more on producing films than starring in them. Despite stepping away from the spotlight, Tobey reminded audiences why they loved him with his memorable return in Spider-Man: No Way Home. Even so, his journey remains one of Hollywood's most surprising career shifts, proving that even the face of a billion-dollar franchise isn't guaranteed a lifetime at the top. Number 7. Jim Caviezel. Most actors dream of landing the role that changes their lives forever. For Jim Caviezel, that dream came true when he was cast as Jesus in The Passion of the Christ. The film became a worldwide phenomenon, earning hundreds of millions of dollars and receiving multiple Academy Award nominations. It should have launched him into an entirely new level of stardom. Instead, many believe it became the role that quietly pushed him out of Hollywood's inner circle. Before filming even began, director Mel Gibson reportedly warned Caviezel that accepting the role could seriously damage his career. Those words proved eerily prophetic. Despite the film's enormous success, major studio offers became increasingly rare. Over the years, Caviezel's outspoken religious beliefs, conservative political views, and reluctance to participate in certain types of scenes made him an unconventional choice for many Hollywood productions. While he continued acting in independent films and projects such as Person of Interest and later Sound of Freedom, he was no longer treated as one of the industry's leading men. Whether Hollywood abandoned Jim Caviezel because of controversy, personal convictions, or simply changing times remains a topic of debate. What cannot be denied is how dramatically his career changed after standing at the very peak of global fame. His story proves that sometimes the role that makes an actor unforgettable can also become the one that changes everything forever. Number 8. Wesley Snipes. There was a time when Wesley Snipes was one of the coolest action stars in Hollywood. With unforgettable performances in films like Blade: Demolition Man and White Men Can't Jump, he helped redefine the action genre and became one of the few actors who could carry a blockbuster almost single-handedly. Fans expected his reign to continue for years. Instead, his career spiraled into a series of battles that had nothing to do with the movies. The cracks began to show during the production of Blade Trinity, where reports of conflicts behind the scenes painted Snipes as increasingly difficult to work with. He later sued New Line Cinema over alleged contract breaches, while crew members described a tense filming environment. As if that weren't enough, an even bigger scandal arrived when Snipes was convicted of failing to file federal income tax returns. In 2008, he received a 3-year prison sentence, a shocking moment that instantly transformed one of Hollywood's biggest stars into a cautionary headline. By the time he was released, the industry had largely moved on without him. Although Wesley Snipes has gradually returned with roles in films like Dolomite Is My Name and Coming To America, he has never fully regained the superstar status he once enjoyed. His remarkable rise and dramatic fall remain one of Hollywood's most unforgettable stories, proving that sometimes the toughest battles aren't fought on screen, but in real life. Number 9. Cuba Gooding Jr. Winning an Academy Award is supposed to guarantee a lifetime of unforgettable roles. For Cuba Gooding Jr., it did the exact opposite. After delivering his legendary performance in Jerry Maguire, he became one of Hollywood's most sought-after actors, with studios eager to cast him in major productions. But just a few years later, the Oscar winner who seemed destined for greatness had almost completely disappeared from the spotlight, leaving fans asking one question: where did he go? According to Cuba himself, success became both a blessing and a burden. After winning the Oscar, he became terrified of accepting roles that might diminish what he had already achieved. That fear led him to turn down several acclaimed projects, including Amistad and Hotel Rwanda. Looking back, he admitted those decisions unintentionally damaged relationships with respected directors and narrowed his opportunities. As time passed, fewer major offers arrived, and the actor who once stood at the top of Hollywood slowly faded into the background. Years later, Cuba Gooding Jr. has acknowledged those career mistakes, saying they taught him to value a director's vision above everything else. While he continues to work in film and television, he has never fully returned to the level of success he enjoyed during Hollywood's golden years. His story is a striking reminder that sometimes the biggest threat to a career isn't failure, but the overwhelming pressure that comes after achieving your greatest success. Number 10. Mo'Nique. One Oscar changed Mo'Nique's life forever, but not in the way anyone expected. After delivering a breathtaking performance in Precious, she won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress in 2010, a moment that should have opened every door in Hollywood. Instead, it became the beginning of one of the industry's most shocking career collapses. Almost overnight, one of the most celebrated actresses in America found herself fighting for roles instead of collecting awards. The trouble began when the studio behind Precious expected Mo'Nique to attend numerous film festivals and promotional events without additional pay. She refused, arguing that she had already fulfilled her contractual obligations and couldn't afford the expensive travel after earning only about $50,000 for the film. Her absence from major promotional events quickly sparked rumors that she was difficult to work with. In later interviews, Mo'Nique said she was unfairly labeled as difficult and uncooperative, a reputation that she believes effectively blacklisted her from Hollywood for years. As blockbuster opportunities disappeared, one of the most talented actresses of her generation was left watching from the sidelines. Although Mo'Nique has gradually rebuilt her career through stand-up comedy television and new film projects, many fans still wonder what might have happened if that Oscar victory had been followed by support instead of controversy. Her story remains one of Hollywood's most ironic twists, proving that even winning the industry's highest honor doesn't always guarantee a happy ending. Number 11. Hayden Christensen. At one point, Hayden Christensen looked like the future of Hollywood. Landing the role of Anakin Skywalker in the Star Wars prequel trilogy should have made him one of the biggest stars of his generation. He had the looks, the talent, and one of the most iconic franchises in movie history behind him. But instead of becoming Hollywood's next leading man, he became the target of relentless criticism that followed him for years. When Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith were released, many fans and critics blamed Hayden's performance for the mixed reception of the prequels. The backlash was so intense that he even received a Razzie Award, and later admitted he struggled with imposter syndrome, questioning whether he truly deserved the success he had achieved. Exhausted by the constant pressure, Christensen stepped away from Hollywood and bought a farm in Canada, choosing a quieter life far from the spotlight. While he continued acting occasionally, the major blockbuster offers became increasingly rare, and the actor once expected to dominate the industry quietly faded from center stage. Years later, public opinion began to change. As a new generation of Star Wars fans embraced the prequels, Hayden received a warmer reception than ever before, eventually returning as Anakin Skywalker in Disney's Obi-Wan Kenobi and Ahsoka. Although his comeback delighted longtime fans, his journey remains one of Hollywood's most remarkable stories, showing how an actor can go from being celebrated to heavily criticized and finally rediscovered years later. Number 12. Gwyneth Paltrow. Few actresses have experienced Hollywood fame quite like Gwyneth Paltrow. She won an Academy Award, starred alongside some of the industry's biggest names, and became one of the most recognizable faces of the late 1990s and early 2000s. With films like Shakespeare in Love C7N and later the Iron Man series, her career appeared untouchable. But behind the glamorous image, another story was quietly unfolding. The actress, who once seemed universally admired, gradually became one of Hollywood's most polarizing celebrities. Over the years, Paltrow's public image shifted dramatically. Her lifestyle brand Goop frequently sparked controversy over wellness advice that many experts criticized as misleading or unscientific. At the same time, interviews in which she discussed her privileged upbringing and luxurious lifestyle led some fans to view her as disconnected from everyday life. In 2013, she was even voted one of Hollywood's most disliked celebrities by readers of Star magazine. While she insisted she was simply being honest and authentic, the growing backlash began to overshadow her accomplishments on screen, and acting slowly became less of a priority. Instead of fighting to remain Hollywood's biggest star, Gwyneth chose a different path, focusing on business and making only occasional film appearances. Although she remains wealthy and influential, the days when she was one of the industry's most in-demand actresses are largely behind her. Her story proves that sometimes a celebrity's greatest challenge isn't losing talent, but losing the public's admiration. Number 13. Jodie Foster. Most child stars burn bright for a few years before fading away. Jodie Foster did the opposite. She grew into one of Hollywood's most respected actresses, winning 2 Academy Awards and delivering unforgettable performances in films like The Silence of the Lambs, The Accused, and Inside Man. For decades, she seemed impossible to replace. Then, almost without anyone noticing, one of Hollywood's greatest talents quietly stepped away from the spotlight, leaving fans wondering why she had nearly disappeared. The truth wasn't a scandal or a dramatic downfall. Instead, Foster simply stopped chasing the kind of fame that defines Hollywood. Several ambitious projects she hoped to direct never materialized, including a planned biopic about filmmaker Leni Riefenstahl. Rather than accepting every acting offer, she shifted her focus behind the camera, directing films while becoming increasingly selective about the roles she accepted. At the same time, she embraced a far more private, personal life, choosing to spend more time with her family instead of living under constant media attention. Although Jodie Foster never truly vanished from the entertainment industry, she deliberately walked away from the non-stop race for stardom that consumes so many actors. She still returns for carefully chosen performances that remind audiences why she remains one of the finest actresses of her generation. Her story stands apart from many others on this list because she wasn't pushed out by scandal or failure. She simply decided that life beyond Hollywood mattered more than staying at the center of it all. Number 14. Billy Zane. Billy Zane once had everything an actor could ask for. He appeared in Back to the Future, stole scenes in Titanic as the unforgettable Cal Hockley, and seemed perfectly positioned to become one of Hollywood's next leading men. With his striking screen presence and undeniable charisma, the future looked incredibly bright. But after one of the biggest movies in cinematic history, something unexpected happened. Instead of climbing even higher, his career slowly drifted into the shadows. Ironically, the role that made Billy Zane famous may have also worked against him. His portrayal of the arrogant and ruthless Cal was so convincing that audiences found it difficult to separate the actor from the villain. While Hollywood continued offering him similar antagonist roles, very few major studios viewed him as a leading man capable of carrying blockbuster films. As the years passed, his appearances shifted toward independent productions and low-budget movies that rarely reached mainstream audiences. Reports also suggested that financial pressures, including personal obligations, influenced many of the projects he accepted, making it even harder to regain his former status. Today, Billy Zane is still acting, but the days of headlining Hollywood's biggest productions are long behind him. His journey is one of the industry's strangest twists, proving that sometimes delivering an unforgettable performance can also become an actor's greatest curse. The character that made millions of people recognize his face may have quietly closed the very doors it was supposed to open. Number 15. Eddie Murphy. There was a time when Eddie Murphy could do no wrong. From Beverly Hills Cop and Coming to America to the unforgettable voice of Donkey in Shrek, he became one of Hollywood's biggest box office legends, with his films earning billions worldwide. But after decades of non-stop success, something unusual happened. The superstar who once dominated theaters almost completely disappeared from major Hollywood productions, leaving fans wondering why one of comedy's greatest icons had seemingly walked away from it all. Unlike many stars on this list, Eddie Murphy's disappearance wasn't fueled by scandal or career-ending controversy. Instead, he chose to slow down. In interviews, Murphy explained that after years of chasing success, he no longer felt the need to work constantly or accept every movie offer. He admitted he was essentially semi-retired, preferring to spend time with his growing family rather than pursuing more fame or fortune. Although he has occasionally returned with projects like Coming to America and is expected to reprise Donkey in Shrek 5, Murphy has made it clear that Hollywood is no longer the center of his life. Sometimes the biggest surprise isn't being pushed out of the spotlight. It's choosing to leave it behind. Number 1. Kevin Spacey. For years, Kevin Spacey looked untouchable. He wasn't just another Hollywood star, he was the kind of actor directors dreamed of casting. 2 Academy Awards, unforgettable performances, and a career that seemed destined to grow even bigger after his chilling role as Frank Underwood in House of Cards. Then, almost overnight, the applause stopped. The man who once dominated red carpets suddenly found himself watching Hollywood close every door in front of him. It was a collapse so dramatic that many fans struggled to believe it was real. Everything changed in 2017 when actor Anthony Rapp publicly accused Spacey of sexual misconduct, triggering a wave of similar allegations from other men. The fallout was immediate and devastating. Netflix suspended production of House of Cards, removed him from the final season, and cut all professional ties. His completed scenes in All the Money in the World were erased and entirely reshot, with Christopher Plummer, an extraordinary move that sent a chilling message to the industry. Talent agencies distanced themselves, Major studios disappeared, and Spacey was ordered to pay millions of dollars in damages related to his contract with House of Cards. Years of courtroom battles followed, with some cases ending in acquittal or dismissal, while others continued to cast a long shadow over his public image. Today, Kevin Spacey remains one of Hollywood's most controversial figures. Although he has occasionally appeared in smaller international productions and publicly insisted on rebuilding his career, the blockbuster offers that once defined his life have largely vanished. His story serves as one of the entertainment industry's most dramatic falls from grace, proving that a career built over decades can unravel with astonishing speed. In Hollywood, fame may feel permanent, but sometimes it takes only a single storm for an empire to disappear.